Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Job Role Based Interview Questions. Okay. So my last video was liked by people. So let's continue with this discussion. So for today, we have picked up the role IT Process Manager. This is also one of the important role. Okay. So now let us discuss these questions. Question number one: who is an IT Process Manager? Explain this in simple words. So basically, a IT Process Manager is a person who run on one process in daily basis. Okay, in everyday work. This role of that IT process manager makes sure people actually follow the agreed steps and do not own any shortcuts. This person watches how the process perform. Okay, it fixes the daily issues and keep the flow stable for this particular process for which he has the responsibility. Okay, it can be any ITIL process. One more thing, the process owner design the process, but the process manager is the one who make the design work in reality. Basically, he is there to implement it. Okay, so this is the real work of ITIL process manager. Move to next question. How the ITIL process manager different from ITIL process owner? This is also one of the important question. This difference is actually important. So we can say that the process owner is like an architect. Okay, they design the process, they set the KPIs, and they think long terms. Okay, whereas the process manager is like an operator here. Okay, they run the process day to day and keep it under control. It means they are in charge of the operations with respect to the process. So owner is accountable for the overall process, whereas manager is responsible for day to day execution. In smaller organization, or even one person can also do the role of both process manager and process owner. Okay, but in big organization we have a separate roles, and I already told you the responsibilities. Now third question: what are the main responsibilities of ITIL process managers? So we already know this till now, but let me explain in detail here. Okay, so being a ITIL process manager, you have basically three big responsibilities. The very first one is daily operations. Okay, in this, he is making sure the tickets and the task move through the steps as designed, means whatever the process, we are following the process on daily basis. Secondly, the coordination. Okay, ITL process manager keep all the teams and roles involved in a single process aligned, and then he is the one who is talking. Okay, basically. And the very last one is performance and improvement. So he is there to watch daily KPIs. Okay, spotting the problems, and then suggesting the changes to the process owners in case. Okay, so after all the KPI and all problems, so they can discuss and make the change. Okay, so finally on top of that, they also help with reporting, auditing, and training around the process. So this is the core responsibilities of a ITL process manager. Okay, now next question is, how can a process manager make sure a process is followed consistently? Yes, because he's a process manager, he has to make sure that the people are following it. So what he is to do? Okay. So to make the process truly used, first of all, he has to make sure that the process is very simple and related to work. So basically, this is the responsibility of process designer as well, right? So they think and they come up with a simple and close to work process. A good process manager basically keep steps clear and easy to find. There should not be everything in a very, very big document. People are aware of the steps, aware of the process properly. It's not like just go and see the document. No, your document also should be very interactive. You on regular basis make sure that you are in touch with the team so that they understand the process properly. Okay. Secondly, the ITSM tool is configured properly so that the natural way of working support the process. It means digitalization should also be there. Okay, as I mentioned, on regular basis, you should perform certain short trainings and refreshers kind of programs with the real examples so that the people are interested and they know the value of the process and they keep on doing it. Okay, finally, from time to time, the ITIL process owner look into the tickets and review and provide the feedback so that the people understand that this is the process and this is what they have to do to fix the issues. So these all are the ways by which he makes sure that the process is consistent. Okay. Now let's move to the fifth question. How does a process manager work with the process owner? So basically here the process manager and the process owner should behave like a small team, right? The manager brings the ground reality, like where the people are struggling, where the steps are skipped, and how the people are following the process, and what is the data. This means what is the tickets are saying about the process. So basically, it is the operational things on day to day. But in case of process owner, the process owner brings the bigger picture. Okay, like design changes, new control, and long-term goals. So together, both of them need to review the KPIs and the real cases. Okay, and then they have to think whether the process is aligned with the current goals, and if not, then they have to, curate the process, and they have to introduce the process in simpler step. So this is the, working together kind of thing for both of these. I hope you get it. Now let's move it to the next question. That is the question number 6. What skills are important for ITIL process managers? ITIL process manager needs certain skills to do the effective work. Okay. So basically, a strong ITIL process manager is easy to talk and clear in communication. Communication is the key here. Okay. So they have to understand their process deeply. This is the main thing here. Whether it's an incident, change, problem, or service request or any process, but they must be comfortable with their process. They understand their process to the core. Okay. And they are also comfortable with the reports and the dashboards and the tool, ITSM tool, on which the process is designed and delivered to the people. They should be good at, basically solving problems and handling the conflicts. Okay. They should be good in listening and observe. Okay. Via various tools like, reporting or Excel. By this, they should be able to, quantify or measure the data, see the data through, okay, so that they understand the real problem. It is not always the team which come to you. Again, you have to be transparent, you have to be ready so that the data which is there in front of you with respect to the process, you should be able to understand it by various means, by various KPIs, by various reports. So these all things, technical plus behavioral plus communicable, okay, all these things should be there so that the process manager, ITIL process manager, good at their work. Now let's move to the next one. How does a process manager monitor the process performance? So we already discussed this. Okay, they have to use various KPIs. They have to review the reports and dashboards on daily basis. They have to look into the data like various tickets and all, and check for the quality of the response. So all these things are there. They have to be in touch with the stakeholder as well because technology is changing on daily basis. So they have to keep eye on what is changing and how that change is now impacting the process, right? Because if the technology go far ahead from process, in that case also the process is of no use. So this maintenance is also needed there. So by this you can monitor the process performance. Next question is, how does a process manager handle people who resist using the process? So in any organization, there are people, and this question generally asked because if you apply for such role, then obviously you will find such people. So how you take care of such people? So basically, a good process owner listen first to understand why people are not liking the process. Okay, and after that, they explain in simple terms how the process is there to help you to protect the business and the team. What all are the advantages of this process if it is being followed properly comparison to what is happening right now? Okay. Again, they also look for the opportunities like if some steps are really confusing or slow, uh, they can work with the owner to improve the parts. It means it is possible that the process is not up to the mark or it is not at par with the team. Okay, so that gap also need to be filled by the managers by understanding the problems in each and every step, why the team is hesitating, and then communicating it with the owner, process owner, and then finally making the change. Finally, they also have to take certain hard steps like if someone is keep ignoring the process and creating certain risks. Okay, so in that case, we have to involve the person's manager and again show the impact of this risk taking things, okay, this process or this issues which are created by not following the process with the proper example and ask them to follow it. Okay, so these all are the things which we have to take care. After 8 we have the question number 9. How does a process manager support continuous improvement? So yes, because as I told you, things are changing, things are dynamic. So continuous improvement is the key to make the process relevant throughout the organization. Okay. So basically, continuous improvement is not a one-time project. It's a kind of habit that ITIL process manager should have. Okay. So in this case, the process manager collect the ideas from various processes. Okay. Like incident, problem, audits, and daily feedbacks. Now they have to analyze and choose which idea here is giving the most benefit and what all are the efforts needed here. Okay. Finally, he has to support the team and the owner in changing the process, in changing the tool, in changing the, automation procedure wherever needed. So this is also the main thing. After the changes are done, they have to quantify, they have to measure the performance one more time and see whether those changes are really helping or that was just a fancy change, which is again creating more problem for the process people. Okay, the people who are following the process. So this is, the continuous service improvement things which keeps on going but with proper direction. So finally the last question, so what should a process manager do when the KPIs are consistently not met? Okay, good question. Okay, so in this case, when the KPIs are constantly not working or the KPIs are constantly red, the process manager has to dig in. There is no other option. Okay, they look at where exactly the things are failing. They have to analyze the complete process step by step, which step is failing, which team is failing, and which type of cases are failing. Okay, so you have to go deep. You have to analyze each and every artifact which is involved. Then talk to the people doing the work to understand what is blocking them. This is also one of the things. Okay, so smaller issues like unclear form or poor routing can be fixed quickly. So you get to know these things early and you can fix it as soon as you get to know. Finally, the big issues such as lack of capacity of the process, the scaling problem with the process, wrong design of the process, all these things should be escalated with the data. Means you should not do things in fly. You should have data supporting your claims. Okay. And then you have to sit with process owner and other team members and other stakeholders to create an action plan. Okay. And then get an approval and make changes. One more question, let me take it. I like this question. What is the difference between process manager and service manager? Good. Okay, so these are the things which you should keep in mind. Okay, so basically in simple terms, a process manager take care of one way of working like incident or change across the whole organization. Okay, whereas a service manager take care of one or more service, okay, like email or HR from end to end. Okay, so you can say that a process manager look at the flow and rule, whereas the service manager is now looking at the user experience and service outcomes. So basically we can say that both these roles are supporting each other because a good process is a kind of big part of a good service. If you do not have a good process, there is no way you can give a good service, right? So a process is a subset of a service. Okay, if there is an issue here, it will also not perform to its maximum thing. Okay, So this is it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you are liking these videos. I hope you are liking the explanations. I am trying my best to provide you good data. Okay. In case you want to learn about ServiceNow, you want to do deep digging, you want to see the demos, you can join my channel ServiceNow 911, which is in English, and ServiceNow Help Desk Hindi, which is in Hindi. Okay. Every information starting from PDI, starting from real-time development, I am doing I am explaining everything on PDI. Okay. So just watch out. Thank you so much. Bye bye.